and Sairam students. Hope you all are fine and doing well. So let us start with our today's class. From the on the screen itself, you can see that there written is grammar. That means we are going to start with the grammar portion today. So let us start. There are certain things in your grammar portion like tenses, speech, modals, determiners, figure of speech that all are included in your grammar portion. And today we are going to start with tenses. In your childhood also you have studied about tenses. And today it's going to be a quick revision for you all, because as you have read, and those who have not read it or who don't remember about tenses, or those who make mistakes while making a proper sentence because they don't understand tenses properly, so this is going to be a beneficial class for all those students. So let us start. First of all, what is the definition of tenses? Tenses help in telling the time of the verb or the action taken place. That means whatever action has taken place, it tells the time. For example, I am working. That means I am working right now. I am talking about present time. So tenses help us to know the time when this work is done or when that action is being taken. Now, tenses are of three types. We all know: present tense, past tense, and future tense. Now, present tense, past tense, and future tense are further divided into more categories that we will continue later, but let us know what actually present, past, and future really means. Present tense means it tell us about what is happening currently, that is right now, present time. For example, I live in USA. I am in class 9th or in class 10th. Past tense. Past tense will tell you what has actually happened, what has already been taken place. That means of the past time, of the gone period. For example, I lived in USA. I was in class 9th last year. Now, what is future tense? We are familiar with future, past, present, but this is going to be a quick revision. The future tell us about what action will take place in the coming period or coming time. That is known as future tense. For example, I will live in USA. I will be in the class 11th next year, or I will go to market. These are the sentences which tell you that what you are going to do in future. So I hope you have understood the basic of tenses, that tenses means tenses are help us to know the time of the action taken place. Tenses are of three types: present tense, past tense, and future tense. Present tense tell what is happening currently. Past tense tell us what has actually happened, and future tense tell us what will happen. Now, these tenses are further divided into four categories. Let us look on to that also. Present tense is divided into four subcategories, that is present simple, present continuous, present perfect, present perfect continuous. In the same way, past and future is also divided into the subcategories, that is past simple, past continuous, past perfect, past perfect continuous. Same future. Future simple, future continuous, future perfect, and future perfect continuous. Now, one by one, we will know that how we can identify that this is a present simple, present continuous, present perfect, or present perfect continuous. We will study these tenses in detail in the coming slide. Let us move on with that. Now, as we know that present tense is divided into four subcategories: simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. Now, one by one we will know about them. Like simple present tense. Simple present tense help us to express a habitual action as well as a universal truth or fact. It also expresses an action taking place in the immediate present. That means if a sentence is telling you that it's a universal truth, nobody can change. The sun rises from east. Nobody can change that. That is the present simple. Simple present tense. What we are doing right now is a simple present. What we daily do is simple present. That is a daily habitual action. Habitual action means what we do daily. Universal truth or fact means that honey is sweet. Means it's a universal truth. Yes, we know that honey is sweet. Bitter gourd is bitter. We know that. That means which are universally true. We cannot change the fact that are conveyed in a very simple present tense. What action we are doing right now? I am teaching. That means it's a simple present tense. Now, how you will identify that it is a simple present tense or simple any other perfect or continuous or perfect continuous tense? While simple present tense, to write the simple present tense, there is two things. Mainly, sentence can be written in singular form or for plural form. If you are writing for one person only, okay, the rule is that first of all subject will come, then verb first form will come, plus s or es will come, or object will come. For example, she sings a song. If I write it, now if I write it over here that she sings a song. So now identify the first thing. The rule says that if you're writing a sentence for a singular means for one person only, then what will be the rule to write simple present tense? The first thing is that you should have subject. I have subject here, that is she. Okay, that is she. She is the subject here. The second rule was that you have to write the verb with s or es. So I have written the first form, that is sing, and I have added as s to it. Okay, that means she sings. We have completed two things, and at last object will come, that is song. She sings a song. Simple. Now the condition comes for plural also, that if you are writing a sentence for plural, that means for more than one person, that how will you write that? Again the same thing will come, subject will come, verb first form will come, that is sing, and object will come. The sentence will become, let us see with that also. She sing a song. So you can identify it very easily that when we are writing a sentence for a singular person, that is for one person only, we added s to the verb. Verb was sing. Now if we are writing for plural, we have actually removed the s. Here we have not added s. You can look it here. But when we write for the plural, for the singular one, we wrote she sings a song. We added s over here. Now we can identify easily that the simple present tense is for plural or for singular. How? If the verb is in first form, first thing. Second, if it is having s with it, that means it is for singular person. But if it is not having s, then it is for a plural person. Now I hope you have understood what is simple present tense. Let us move ahead. Present continuous tense. From the word itself, continuous, that is continuing. Now, for an action going on at the time of speaking, for an action planned in the near future. Now, when we are speaking to you, when I am speaking to you, what I am doing, I am teaching you. That means it is a continuous tense because I am talking to you also and the work is going on. When we are telling that children are playing, that means I am telling you this, that the children are playing and the children are still playing near me. That means whenever we are describing that the action is going on to some person and still that action is being presented here or going on here near me or wherever, that means that is a present continuous tense. That for example, the boys are playing football. Now playing football, that means they are presently playing, they have not stopped playing, they are still playing the football. I am going to the circus tonight. I am going, that means he is going to the circus, though he is going to watch the circus at night, but right now he is going for the circus right now from the home. Now there is again a rule to write a sentence in present continuous tense, and the rule says, first of all, you have to write the subject plus is, am or are, plus the verb first form, plus ing and plus object. Now example, she is eating food. From the example itself you can see that verb here, the subject here is she. We have added is also. We have used the verb eat, that is the first form of the verb, and we have added ing also to it, so it becomes eating. And at last we have added the object also, that is food. Now it becomes she is eating food. It's very easy. I hope you have understand that to write a sentence in present continuous tense, what you are going to do, you are going to write the first subject, then you, if the subject is in plural, you will add are. If the subject is plural, you will use is, and if you are telling about yourself, you are going to add am. Like I am eating food. Okay, she is eating food. Eating, eat is the first form of the verb. We have added ing to it, and at last we have added the object. This becomes your present continuous tense. Hope you understand this. Present perfect tense. What is present perfect tense? When we express an action that has just been completed, and we also express past action whose time is not defined. It also expresses a past action, the effect of which still continues. It denotes an action beginning at some time in the past and continuing up to the present moment. That means if you can say that a work was started in the past and still it is being continued. For example, the bridge making work. When flyovers or bridge are being made, they are started in the past but still they are continued. That is known as present perfect tense. Either they have completed, they have started in the past but now they have completed, or they have started in the past but still they are continued. That is known as present perfect tense. I have finished my work. The sun has set. Mr. Ram has been to USA. To make it more simple, let us look what is the rule to write perfect present tense. Present perfect tense, when you are writing, again comes rules for two things, that is for singular and for plural. There is a different rule for writing singular. What is the rule? Let us see. First of all, you have to add subject. Second thing, has. Third thing, verb third form. Now remember, till now we are using the first form of the verb, but now we are going to use the third form of the verb plus object. Now subject is he. We have used the subject he here. Now look here. He is the subject. Now we have added has to it. If it is for singular, remember, If you are writing for singular person, for one person only, you are going to use has. He has. Now we are telling that he was cleaning the utensil. Cleaned. Clean is the first form. If we add ed, that becomes the third form of the verb. Cleaned the utensils. That is the object here. Sorry. He has cleaned the utensil. He, here is the subject. Has, we have added as per the rules. Cleaned. In the rules it is said that third form of the verb to be used. We have added the third form, and at last you have to write the object. Now the sentence become, he has cleaned the utensils. Now, if you're writing for plural, only one thing will change. Instead of writing has, you will write have. Now, because we are saying it for many peoples. Now the people increased. First of all, we are telling in the first sentence we are telling that he has. That means we are telling about only one person. But now we are telling about many persons. They have cleaned the utensils. Easy. Now, present perfect continuous tense. The last category, that is present perfect continuous tense. It says that for an action began at some time in the past and still continues for an unfinished work. Present perfect was that. What is the difference between present perfect and present perfect continuous? In the present perfect, the work started in the past but now it is finished. But in continuous tense, present perfect continuous tense, the work started in the past and still it is unfinished. Now, they have been playing since 4 o'clock. Though the time can be 8 right now, but they are telling us that they have been playing since 4 o'clock. I have been working for 10 hours. That means he was working from past till present and still his work is not finished. He is continuing his work. What is the rule? The rule says if it is only for one person, then first of all you will write the subject. You will add has been with the first form of the verb with ing plus object. Always remember, whenever you are talking about continuous tense, ing will be added. And if it becomes the perfect continuous tense, then has been for singular and have been for plural. And whenever you are adding ing to the verb, then the verb will be of first form, not of third form. So you have to keep in your mind that if you are using ing with a word, then the word should be of first form, not of third form. Now, what is the sentence? She has been working since morning. She is the subject here. Has been is added. Work is the first form plus ing, working, since morning is the object. For plural again, instead of using has been, you have to use have been, and the sentence will become they have been working since morning. Now we will move on to the past tense. Past tense is again divided into 4 subcategories: simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. Now let us read that also. Simple past tense. Simple past tense indicate that an action is completed in the past. It also denotes an action which continues for some time in the past. We studied chemistry for 2 years. I played football yesterday. Now, what is the rule to write simple past tense? The rule says that first of all, you have to write the subject. Then you have to write the second form of the verb, and then you have to write the object. He ran away. I played football. We studied chemistry. That means second form of the verb is used here. Remember this, that second form of the verb is used in the simple past tense. The second category is past continuous tense. It says it denotes an action going on sometime in the past. He was playing outside all the day. That means today, when it happens, when your mother complains about you to your father, she says that he was all day outside. That means you were all day outside. Right now you are in the room, but all day you were outside. That means in past, for that action been taken, and it was for the whole day. Sometime in the past, we don't know what the exact time is that, but sometime in the past. There are again rules to write past continuous tense for two things. First for singular, then for plural. For singular, what you have to do, first you have to write the subject, then you have to add was with the first form of the verb plus ing and plus object. As I have told you that though you are writing the sentence in the past tense, but whenever you are adding ing to any verb, then it will be your first form only. So the sentence become she was going for shopping. She is the subject, was we have added, first form was go, we have added ing, that becomes going, and shopping is the object. But if you are writing for plural, then instead of writing was after subject, you will add were. In past, we use were for plurals and was for singular. But in present tense, we use has for singular and have for plural. Now for plural, the rule changes. Just one thing changes here, that is were. Instead of writing was, we will add were. They were going for shopping. Now the next category is past perfect tense. Past perfect tense means it describes that action has completed in the past. That the action has completed in the past. For example, later on we will see the example. Past perfect tense again has a rule to write the sentence. What is the rule? Let us see that. Subject plus had plus third form of the verb plus object. That means subject is here Sumit, had we have added, leave, third form is left. What is the third form of leave? Leave, third form is left. So we have added the third form, that is left. Sumit had left the job. Sumit is a subject, had we have to add, left is the third form of the verb leave, and at last object. So Sumit had left the job. Past perfect continuous tense. For an action that began before a certain time in the past and continued up to that time. That means we are not sure when that work was started in the past, but right now it is being continued in the present also. That is known as past perfect continuous tense. Continuous always means that it is continuing. That is, had not finished, it is unfinished. At that time, he had been editing the newspaper for 2 years. The rule says that you have to write the subject first, then you have to add had been, then the first form of the verb plus ing plus object. The sentence become they had been preparing for their performance for 2 months. So now either you are writing for many peoples or for one person, you are going to add had been for past perfect continuous tense. I repeat it again, if you are writing for past perfect continuous tense, it doesn't matter you are writing about one person or more than one person, had been will be added, nothing else. Subject plus had been plus first form of the verb plus ing. That means if the verb is go, it will become going, it will become prepare, it will become preparing. So plus object. So they had been preparing for their performance for 2 months. Now comes the future tense. Future tense again divided into 4 subcategories: simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. Simple future tense will tell you that in future this action will going to take place. I shall see you tomorrow. I will go school tomorrow. So these are the simple future tense that indicates you that the action will be taken place in the coming days. There is only one rule to write future tense, that is, if you're writing, first of all subject will come, will or shall will be added, verb first form and object. I will visit my uncle tomorrow. I will visit my uncle tomorrow. The next is future continuous tense. Future continuous tense means for future events that are planned. Here we are telling that we have made certain plans that will take place in future. He will be meeting you next month. We will be going there for holidays. So that means we have planned that we will go there in the future. If you're writing for future continuous tense, there is a rule. The rule says that first of all you have to write the subject, then you have to add will or shall plus the first form and then object. I shall be going to the market tomorrow plus be is also added. I shall be, I will be. So be is also added. I shall be, I will be going to the market tomorrow. Future perfect tense. Future perfect tense is used to indicate the completion of an action in a certain time in the future. That means they are telling you that in future it will be completed. She will have gone to school tomorrow. That means they are telling that in future she will go to the school. She will be going. There is no certain changes in these things. Now there is a rule to write this future perfect tense. The rule says that first of all you have to write the subject plus will have or shall have. Here have is added in perfect tense, in future perfect tense, have is added with will and shall. Subject plus will have or shall have plus third form of the verb plus object. I shall have prepared the notes by tomorrow morning. You says the I is the subject here, shall have is added, prepare is the first form of the verb. To make it the third form we have added ed. It becomes prepared the notes by tomorrow morning. Now at last it comes future perfect continuous tense. Future perfect continuous tense is used to indicate that an action that is in progress over a period of time and will be end in the future. That is, the work which is going in the past, which is continued in the present, will come to an end in the future. And the sentence is that she will have going to school tomorrow. Future perfect continuous tense, to write such a sentence you have to know the rule. The rule says that first of all write the subject. Secondly, you have to add will have been. Will have been. Then you have to add the first form of the verb. Again, if you are writing continuous, then first form plus ing and then object. She will have been working here since 2018. She is the subject. Will have been is the rule that you have to add here. Will have been. Work is the first form and ing is added to it to show that it is in continuous, and here since 2018 is the object. So this was all about your tenses, and I hope that you all have understand that tenses are divided into 3 categories, that is present, past and future. Again, these categories are divided into subcategories, that is simple, perfect, continuous and perfect continuous. And I hope that you have understood what are the rules they are there to write these sentences. With this, I end this class for today. Thank you, students.